We are honored to have former Secretary of Defense William S. Cohen join us to talk about his intense political thriller, Dragonfire. With your expansive knowledge of world politics, what made you choose to write a book of fiction as opposed to a memoir?
Well, I found that sometimes you can tell more of the truth in fiction than you can in writing fact. And it's an opportunity to also engage a much broader audience. A German television personality encountered me in Munich recently who had seen an advanced copy of Dragonfire. And he said it opened up a world to him that he had never seen before and was unlikely to have read about if it were a nonfiction book. But it allowed him to pierce the veil as such and look behind the curtain to see what goes on in the minds and the machinations of people who have power or are seeking power.
Please brief us on what Dragonfire is all about.
Well, Dragonfire is part mystery, part international intrigue. It's designed to raise awareness of the kinds of threats that we face in the future. There are multiple threats coming at us, and one can't defend against all of them, but it really is a way for me to raise a more imaginative type of approach of how acts of terror could be carried out on American soil and elsewhere, but not look like acts of terror.
Dragonfire stars a fictional Secretary Santini. How much of Secretary Cohen can we expect to find in Secretary Santini?
Well, there's not much of Secretary Cohen in that character, but it's based on the experiences of Senator John McCain when he was a prisoner of war in Vietnam. There's some of another friend of mine, Senator Warren Rubman, in terms of his character. My experience certainly is in much of the book in terms of occupying that seat as Secretary of Defense. It is the most extraordinary position, and I think the most rewarding experience that one can have to be Secretary of Defense of the finest military in the world. And so to draw upon some of those experiences in terms of what it was like to walk into the Situation Room in the White House, to deal with issues that confront us on a daily basis. Those experiences you will find in this book.
President Clinton and Senator John McCain have both commented on the intrigue and authenticity of your book. Did you consult any of your fellow politicians while writing it?
I didn't talk to President Clinton about it. I think the first time he read about it was when I sent him a copy of the draft book. So I had 24 years of experience on Capitol Hill and dealing with colleagues, and another 4 years on the other side of the fence, so to speak, or at least the other side of the Potomac River over at the Pentagon. And so I had a pretty good feel for the personalities that one is likely to come in contact with, the egos involved, the ambitions, and the idealism. So it's a combination of all of those that I've tried to meld into this story.
Secretary Cohen brings us Dragonfire, an inspired fictional tale of terrorism, espionage, and heroism in the face of the greatest nuclear threat this world has ever seen. In the end, you'll be left wondering how much of this is real.
What we have to do is to try to be as imaginative as we can, to think about what are the most likely types of threats that will be most easily executed in this country, and then prioritize and prepare for them. You're never going to be able to have complete protection. We are always going to be vulnerable. The question is, what can we do to defend ourselves and still remain a democratic society?